Hey, First United. Thanks for being here for week 3 of this, our growth group sessions together. If you were in worship this week, you heard that I preached on love is kind. If you hadn't, let me give you a little recap here. We've been doing this series, Love Is. I want to know what love is, looking at how do we love, because it's one of our core values at First United. We're called to demonstrate love. We're called to show God's love, the love of Jesus Christ to our community and the people we interact with. But we really don't know what love is. And so last week we talked about love is patient. This week we're going to talk about love is kind. I think they go together. In fact, the scripture passage from Ephesians we used in worship, Ephesians 4:31 through 32, talks about Paul tells us to put on kindness, to clothe yourself with kindness and compassion. They go together, and it's actually something we can do. We can put it on. It makes a huge difference in this world. One of the books I was reading talked about kindness is the purest imitation of who God is, that God is kind, that kindness is always looking to give of itself and maybe expecting nothing in return, that kindness is doing something for someone knowing they're not going to pay you back, or they can't pay you back, or they won't pay you back, but you treat them with kindness. I love the idea in the understanding that if patience is putting up with someone, to love is patient means you're putting up with someone, then kindness, love is kind, is giving a lot. Patience is putting up with a lot. Kindness is giving a lot. I bet you can all tell a story about somebody that was kind to you. A moment in your life where somebody was gracious and kind to you, compassionate to you, that they just treated you better than you deserved, so to speak. And how'd that make you feel? You know, when that stranger stopped to help you on the side of the road, or that person maybe paid for your cup of coffee. That happened to me one time. Somebody just randomly paid. Or just last year, somebody picked up the dinner tab for my wife and I. No idea who it was. We were just out at a restaurant, and somebody paid the tab, and the waitress came and just said, "I'm supposed to tell you thanks. You're doing a great job." What a great gesture that was. Kind of left there feeling good. When somebody's kind to you, it changes your mood, it changes your attitude. It actually causes you, when someone's kind to me, it causes me to be kind to someone else. It's like a pay it forward kind of thing. It's really important for us Christians to be kind, because too often we're known by not being kind. Right after Easter, I'm preaching a series called I Want to Believe But, looking at the things that cause people not to believe in Jesus Christ. I sent out some emails and posted some stuff on Facebook, and some people spread that information. It's been really interesting to see the responses we get back from people who want to believe in Jesus, but one of the number one reasons is us, Christians. There's one guy that actually says, "I want to believe in Jesus, but you Christians are so," and I can't say the word he used, but I bet you can think it. "I want to believe in Jesus, but your Christians are so." Actually, he's pretty close to what Gandhi said. Gandhi says this: "I like your Christ. I do not like your Christians. You Christians, or your Christians, are so unlike your Christ." The church has been that way for centuries. This isn't something new. We talk about loving our enemies and loving our neighbors, but we spend a lot of time killing and torturing those who don't believe like us. The church went from being persecuted to persecuting fairly quickly in our history. We went from giving up our lives to taking life. And I know right now we're going, well, yeah, I haven't burned anybody at the stake recently, but there are moments where people know me as a follower of Jesus and I haven't been kind. And what's that saying to them about who Jesus is? The purest imitation of God is to be kind. Now, it's risky to be kind. It's risky to give of yourself, to put something out there. No, they're just going to take, to give and not expect anything back. I don't think being kind means you're a pushover. It doesn't mean you just let them do whatever to you. It doesn't mean they just walk all over you. It's okay to set boundaries. You know, kindness, as I say in the sermon, kindness isn't always sunshine and sweet tea. Sometimes kindness is saying the hard word, speaking the truth, but with grace. Sometimes kindness is confronting somebody in their sin or their brokenness, but with grace. No judgment, no accusations. I'm still working on how to do that myself. Perhaps y'all can talk about that in your small groups. Kindness isn't always sweet, but it is loving. It's giving of yourself for others. knowing they may not be able to give back. But kindness starts in your thoughts. Maybe think about it. Am I kind to people when I think about them? When I see them, and what are my thoughts? Because my thoughts lead to my actions. So how do I work on kindness in my head when I see somebody and go, oh, you know that EGR person we talked about last week? To be patient with them, I also have to be kind, not just in my actions, but in my thoughts, because my thoughts lead to my actions. Maybe spend some time talking about that in your small group. I'd love for you today in your growth groups to talk about, when's the time somebody's been kind to you? When has somebody done something very generous or kind to you and just, wow. And how did that affect you? What do you think about that Gandhi quote? Is it true? Do you have any experiences with, I love your Christ, but I don't like you Christians? Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Have you seen that played out in life? Have you seen that played out in somebody's relationship? I mean, what are some ways we can be kind? What are some real practical ways we as individuals can be kind this week? What's something you can do? And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for your growth group leaders to email me, to send me the information of what are some things you think the church can do to be kind, both in service, in our worship gatherings, and in our community. What's something the church can do to be kind like Christ? Love is patient. Love is kind. Thanks for being part of this growth group. Peace out.